Today we have a very special guest on the Financial Fast Lane, Justin Bethel, who recently retired from the NFL with really an amazing career.
For sure.
Drafted in 2012, right?
Yeah, a long time ago.
And so 12 seasons. I think he played over 200 games. Right?
Yeah.
2nd and 5. And that's intercepted. The Cardinals.
And run by Justin Bethel. Bethel down the sideline. And he's going to get in.
And so now it's retirement. You know, this is a financial channel.
Mm-hmm.
Talk a lot about retirement. Most of our retirees are not in their 30s.
Yeah, I know. I'll be 35 in June. So, yeah, I'm still a baby kind of in life.
So tell us a little bit of what does it feel like to, just from a retirement standpoint from the NFL?
I think for me, it's been really nice because now that I don't have as much things going on, it's kind of trying to fill in my time with different things. I'm so used to my life has been scheduled pretty much since middle school, where you have practices, you got workouts and all that stuff, and this is like the first time where I have to kind of figure it out and fill up those time blocks myself. It kind of reminds me of when I went from high school to college. It's like, you got class, then you get to college. It's like, oh, I got so much free time to do. So that's kind of how it feels right now. But I think I've been able to do a good job of filling that time out. A family, a lot of hobbies I have, some business ventures and stuff like that. So it's been cool. Like you said, I'm young. And so it is definitely interesting to say I'm retired. I think now it's kind of time to take the efforts that I put toward football and start the next chapter.
Yeah. Right. So for those of you who don't know, Justin played for the Arizona Cardinals for about 5 years, right? Then the Atlanta Falcons, Baltimore Ravens, New England Patriots, and also the Miami Dolphins, including 3 Pro Bowls and 2 first team All-Pro.
Yeah.
So
early days.
Those are some seriously nice accolades. So
yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Worked hard for us. So,
so tell us a little bit, maybe before you became a professional football player, from a financial standpoint, and then as you got these big contracts, how did it change? What did it change with you, your family? Can you kind of talk a little bit about what that was like?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's different levels to, where you get drafted or how long you play your contract. So like when I first got drafted, I got drafted pick 177. So, yeah. And this was before they sanctioned off, you knew how much the first pick was getting. Like now you know how much the first round pick is going to get and so on. When I first got drafted, it was like, you had people getting like $60 million without even touching the field. But even with the amount of money I did get, it was definitely like a big chunk of money. I think my signing bonus was like 100 something or something like that before taxes. And so like moving out here, trying to figure out where to live, how to navigate this new amount of money and all the stuff that I got going on, definitely was something different. I think what was really helpful for me is my parents. They were a blessing because my mom, she's worked at Blue Cross for a long time, and she I'm pretty sure she handles some of their funds. So like for me, her and my dad, they're both really good at making sure hey, you need to save your money for this, don't spend your money on that, kind of managing. I let them manage my money starting off.
Okay.
And I mean, I think they did a really good job pretty much until I signed my first actual real contract.
Yeah.
But I think they instilled in me, this money's got to last you for the rest of your life. And yeah, you can spend it and have some fun. But at the end of the day, your earning potential right now is going to be higher than probably any other time in your life, which I hope isn't the case. But, realistically, this period of time, you got to make the most of it, and you don't know when it's going to end. So you can't spend it all before before you're done.
Right. Can you give us a little bit of an insight into the NFL as far as, do they have financial advisors and tax advisors that they're kind of providing to the players? I mean, what is that?
Yeah. So when you first get to the league as a rookie, we all take they give us all of us have to go into like these rookie success meetings where you're going to talk about finances, how you can trust people, secure, a whole bunch of things just to kind of prepare you for where you are now.
Yeah.
And I think what happens too is a lot of times, like, everybody isn't as fortunate as me to have parents who kind of understand how to, take care of money or use it in a good way where it's, you're building it to use it for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Some people come from where, their family, they're the supporting everybody. They're the ones paying for everybody's bills. They're friends, or they feel obligated to friends they grew up with that they want to bring along.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's so many, most people don't have a good background when it comes to finances or how to deal with the money, where to put it, what to do with it. As I was on the back end of my career, I definitely saw though a switch where guys are wanting to learn more about their money, wanting to make the right investments early on, and start planning for your post career even though you're still playing. So
sure.
It's definitely been a really cool thing to see. But definitely there's always gonna be guys who they have the wrong people in their ear, and hey, I got this cool opportunity, and it's like, oh, just give me some money and I'll make it. Or you get the wrong people taking care of your money and then they steal it. You hear about that a lot too. So
right.
I think it's going to continue to get better, but obviously there's always going to be some disparity in levels of financial wisdom.
Yeah. Were you surprised when you saw how much you had to pay in taxes?
Oh yeah. Oh man. And then because the more you make, it's like you'll get a check, and then it's like, oh wait, half of it,
right.
half after you get the taxes and then your dues, it's like, oh, half of the money's gone. Where?
Yeah.
It's like, what happened? And then it's funny too because in the NFL we get taxed in every state we play in, so you can tell the times when you're playing like if we play in New York or we play in California, because the day you play the game is technically like the day you get paid. Your taxes can be,
so you have state.
Yeah, you have state tax in whatever state you play in. So whenever you're playing like Florida or Texas or
your favorite.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, check's gonna be a little bigger this week.
That's awesome. Yeah. So as far as money with some of the other players, I mean, is the NFL, do they kind of provide, say, hey, we've got these advisors here for you, these tax advisors, or is it more like, hey, whoever you want to use? I mean, I picture it. My understanding is that they used to not be great.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of stories where, money was really got, evaporated.
Yeah.
And that they have, kind of got better at saying, hey, let's give these guys some real structure. Let's make sure we're being tax efficient. I'm not on the inside of the NFL, right? So, is it, what are the options that are presented, I guess?
They have people that you can use that will, that can vet people you try to.
Okay.
So like if I had somebody, let's say an investment for example, if I had an investment that was brought to me, I could call a number that they would vet out whoever I'm trying to, work with. Or if it's a financial advisor, like, hey, can you vet this company out, see what they've done, see if they've had any issues that, we don't know about or something like that. So they have options, but I think a lot of times, like a lot of people I think it's just kind of who they, their family trusts.
Okay.
Like the people I work with, it is somebody my parents met. And we, like, I was always like, okay, we're going to start off with a little bit of money and see how you manage it. And if you treat my money the same way you would treat someone who's giving you millions, then it's like, okay, we can trust you to give you more, because you're not like looking at my money just like, oh, this isn't worth spending the time on.
Okay.
But I think sometimes you can have your agents will have people they know. Okay. Usually if you're in a good agency, they have people that they can contact you with. But I mean, a lot of it's just how comfortable you are with the person, and obviously, back checking them and making sure you're not gonna give them their money, and then a couple years down the road, they're disappeared to some island somewhere.
Right. Okay. Well, so now that you're retired in your 30s, I mean, career number 2 kind of started,
Yeah.
right? What's on the horizon for you?
So right now I have there's an app that I started with a friend of mine from high school, and we've been doing like some tech ventures for the last couple of years, in and out. And this one is called Flix. Where pretty much I always think the easiest way to explain it is like think of Uber for photographers. So if you're out somewhere,
cool.
you're at a park or you're just chilling and you want to be able to get some pictures, like you get on our app, put up a time, you find a photographer, they come to you, take pictures for whatever slotted time you get. They'll come take the pictures. They're on the app. You get what you want off of the app. They get paid. They leave, and you got your pictures without having to, without having to hand your phone over or anything like that. And we're trying to be like just making it more easy and making pictures more accessible to people who want them. Because there's a big difference between like asking someone to take a selfie for you and then going in a studio with a DSLR, where it's usually probably $350 to upwards an hour for a photo shoot. So kind of filling that gap and being able to let everybody capture the moments as they come.
Well, that's a really cool idea.
Yeah,
I'm sure I would find uses for that.
Yeah, hopefully we can find some other people who think it's pretty cool.
So
too.
What stage would you say that business is in?
We're in pre-seed right now, so we're raising we're doing a smaller round now to build out some functions that we think will help us for our next raise. So
okay,
we launched. It was cool because we started launching in Atlanta. We got a lot of connections out there, so we thought it'd be a good spot. Like if we can get to work there, we can probably replicate it in most cities. And we did a very localized like job, like giving out jobs that who wants to be like what we call a flickster, the people who take the photographers.
Yeah.
And within like 2-3 weeks, we had 1,000 people sign up. So we're like, okay, we got guys and ladies who want to do the job. Now is rolling out to the consumer and seeing how they adopt the whole thing. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay,
yeah,
well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think when talents were given out, you got your extra share.
I appreciate it.
Not only the athletic, incredible athlete, but music, right? You're a musician. You've got a family. Was it the House of Bethel?
The House of Bethel, yeah.
That's a jazz band?
Yeah, jazz band. It's funny because I grew up in church playing drums. My older brother plays piano. My dad plays everything, sings. My little brother, and I play the drums. And then I remember my little brother was like started getting into it. I was like, okay, I play the drums. He plays piano. I was like, he needs to play the bass. Like that'll be we get that, we'll be good to go. And then he ended up picking up the trumpet. He ended up going to South Carolina, got his degree in jazz studies, and so he's great. He writes music, like a lot of the songs he'll write them. And now that I'm retired, it'll definitely be easier for us to like start doing more stuff, playing together, making more songs and all that stuff. Because obviously, when I'm playing, it's a lot harder for me, my schedule wise.
Yeah.
But no, I'm excited about that. In July, I think it'll be the first time I've been back in Arizona for like a full year. So yeah, it's been a minute.
Now, I thought it was interesting too. You were, instead of football, you were actually headed towards culinary school, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about that decision.
So coming out of like, I always saw my dad cooking growing up. And so I just enjoyed it. I remember in high school, they had a culinary arts class, and it was, I remember when I was looking at it, I was like, man, it'd be smart. I was like, if I take my culinary class right before lunch, then I can just make my own food for lunch, and then I wouldn't even have to worry about lunch. So that was kind of my initial wanting to do it, but I got in it, fell in love with it, really enjoyed it. My teacher was great, and so I was like, okay, let me see if I can get a scholarship, because when I was football wise, I wasn't like the best player. I wasn't getting a lot of eyes looking at me. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to school for cooking. I wanted to go to Johnson & Wales. And then, so I was going to do that. And then I was like, well, I need to figure out how to pay for school. So I said, okay, I'm going to see if I can walk on to South Carolina. And because they had a culinary program. And I was like, I can walk on to South Carolina and for football and see if I can get a scholarship or something to help pay.
Yeah.
But then I ended up, my high school coach at the time, Coach Jeff Scott, he left my junior year after we won state and went to the school I ended up going to, Presbyterian College. And he was like, well, if you come here, the whole pitch, and he's like, we'll give you a full ride, pretty much. So at this point, it was like, okay, my senior year, I'd had one other half scholarship to Charleston Southern. And I was like, okay, Charleston Southern's out because, it's a half scholarship. I could probably just get one from South Carolina. But then it was like, okay, full ride, culinary. I was like, I got to get that free school. So I ended up going to Presbyterian. I enjoyed it. I made some really lifelong friends there. Obviously, I did good enough to get drafted, and the rest is kind of history.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
Small college.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. Is there anything looking back that you would do different? And particularly maybe with money or finances?
For sure. I'm like, when I first got in the league, even with, some of my early money, I think I would have did a better job of finding people to help me, with investments and, taking better sound advice. Because I've made some dumb investments too. I'm like, oh man, that sounds great. And then, nothing happens with it. And then just like, when you're young, you got money. I had no kids. I had no dependents, nothing. I think of now, like with 2 kids and, a wife, and I'm like, man, I spent so much money on stupid stuff. It's like, if I would have just took that money and invested it in something, like I this hat I got on, it's Pack. They're in a pretty much it's like you go there and you get to meet a lot of business people, get to make a lot of connections, and you just learn a lot about like business and, real estate, venture capital. And I'm like, man, if I would have, like, some of these things, if I would have just known or had this thought process when I was younger, I could have made so much more, so much better, like way better
financial decisions.
And, I could be doing, so much more things. But at the same point, it's never too late. Like we said at the beginning, I'm still super young. So like I'm taking all the information I can now, doing everything I can now to, like, as time goes on, that I can continue to make good financial decisions and, set up something for my kids and my family. 'Cause luckily for me, I was smart. I blew a lot of money, but I did enough to where, like, I'm not struggling, and I can take, like, if I didn't want to work, I wouldn't have to.
Yeah.
So I'm blessed enough to have done that, and I had the good people around me to help me, steer me in the right direction. So
yeah.
Now it's just trying to build something new and take it as far as I can.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Tell us just maybe a couple of your most favorite games that you're playing. I know maybe it's some of your interceptions that you did.
Yeah. I got like 6 of them. I can remember most of them. I got one against Aaron in the back of the end zone. I'm trying to remember who it was I was guarding. I don't remember who I was guarding, but I do remember he tried to throw a back shoulder, and I just turned around and just hit me in my chest. I remember that one. The year before I got my first contract, we were playing the Rams. It was the end of the game. I think that I was covering a tight end. He ran it out. I was at nickel. Pick 6 that one. One of my favorite plays it's funny. It's kind of how I ended up meeting my wife. My rookie year, I didn't block the kick. We were on field goal block. And Adrian Wilson ended up blocking the field goal. I think we're playing the Bears. He blocked it. It like kind of rolled in front of him for a second, popped right in front of me. I picked it up, ran in for a touchdown. And she says her mom saw me on the screen and said I had a nice smile, and then sent it to her. He's like, hey, you should hit him up. And so,
Oh, wow.
so yeah, that's how we first met. I really actually I had a couple of block kicks. Like that was like my favorite thing to do is block kicks. When I was in college, I had a whole bunch.
Yeah.
So I think one of my other favorite ones, I think it was with playing the Cowboys. I blocked one like right before halftime. Pat picked up. He got ran down, unfortunately. But yeah, those are. I feel like I have a couple that, that I'll always kind of remember.
Yeah. So it was special teams, and then you switched
Mhm.
over to cornerback, right?
Yeah.
Just impressive career. I really appreciate you being on here. Any words of advice that you would have for those who are making financial decisions from your experience? What would you say?
I'd say double checking, background checks, and every idea usually sounds great, but that doesn't mean it's going to make money.
Yeah.
So, having the right people around you, don't be the smartest person in the room. Be able to have people who can tell you like, no, that's not good. Or like, even though you want it, like having people that you trust that can tell you like, no, I don't think that's a good idea, and that you will actually listen to them.
Yeah.
And just building a good team around you that has your best interest in heart, but they have the experience, and they've made the mistakes already so that you don't have to.
Very good. Awesome. Well, you have a beautiful family, and so congratulations on that. Look forward to seeing what comes next.
Yeah, me too. We'll see.
Hey, thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right.